Good evening, good evening, everybody. To those in chat, Scott, Kevin, Nick, and Dark. Hey, how are you doing today? We are down here in New Zealand, Auckland, actually. Or sorry, we're heading to Auckland. We're down in Christchurch. I think Scott's flying along with me today as we roll out the business jets. We are flying Caribou Platinum here in the CJ4 on the business jet charter side of the house here. Sun is just coming up, so it's a beautiful morning dawn flight here. And it should be pretty good. So I'll run through everything I'm doing here if anyone wants to join along later on, and I'll make sure we show it. We're running the CJ4 with the working title mod, so it'll be a good run through. I haven't flown it since I did that video that went up about a week or two ago, so it'll be pretty good. So let's get ready. We can hop on board and we'll start getting the aircraft set up. Let's get a little drink of water here. We're live on VATSim. There's a couple airplanes down here, but no ATC at the moment. Guess it's a bit too early for them. You're at sunrise. So here's the cockpit. So we'll just go through our checks. So parking brake is set, landing gear selector is down, battery switch, which is over here, battery is on, emergency light switch is armed, standby flight display is on, will kill the warnings, and avionics switch is to dispatch. Yes, I know. I am going to come down here. I'm going to go index, next page, mod setup, and I'm going to turn on ground power just so that we're not draining the battery. Alright, so we can start getting everything all set up now. Now I just want to check, yeah, I'm in Imperial units. No, we're going to go metric units, because that's what my flight plan is set for, and we're not inside the USA at the moment. So everything else is set up. So we can start setting up our FMS here. Alright, so we're going to go into our pause init page. Our database is set up. We're good to the 20, didn't copy it over. Oh, I'm sorry, that's a secondary. 18 May. Yep, database is all set. And we are good on the other side. So position initialization. Go to the next page. We'll grab our GPS position. We'll go to the FMS position and set it up. Hello, Christian. Haven't seen you for a while. How are you doing? So we're set up there, and it is November Zulu Charlie Hotel. We are here in Christchurch. Don't need to put it in, because we got that in there. All right. So we're going to load our flight plan in now from SimBrief. So we're going to go to index. We're going to go to next. We're going to go to route menu. And we're going to flight plan recall SimBrief. It's loading in. Glen. Which Glen is it we want? North, south, east. Let me see if I can get the point here. It is 42, 52, 52. 42, 52. It'll be that one. And flight plan is loaded. Execute. See the gauge spin around. NZCH to NZAA. That's Christchurch to Auckland. We're taking off on runway 2. That is all set up. So we're going to do a quick check of the weather. So we'll come over here, over to data link, over to weather, and we're going to do a request to the weather, and that will be for Christchurch and NZCH. And we will put that in, and we'll do our destination so we can get an advanced look at it. Send. And we'll go back and we want to view, and here's the weather. So it's an auto generated MEDAR 040 at 6 knots, so runway 02 is fine. Winds are 042.04, QNH 1031. No significant changes, and there's the TAF. And we can go back and look at our destination. 130 at 6 knots, we're landing on runway. I'm on the external power, Christian. I turned it on. 05 right, so that's fine at 6 knots, and 1033. No, so the weather should be good. No major issues as we go through. So we're going to come to our departure and arrival. So we are departing today on the 02 on the Gut B1 Papa. There's Gut B1 Papa. There we go. Out by Glen. And we'll execute that. And our arrival today, we'll go back to arrival, as I mentioned, is the ILS for runway 05 right. ILS 05 right. Normally, they say to do this is to start up the engines and then do all this stuff, but we'll get this entered in. They're just booking our VIP guests in. We're coming on the Dave 6 Delta. There it is, the Dave 6 Delta. And transition. Where are we transitioning? Yeah, we'll transition at Langu. That's fine. Execute that. So that is now all set up. We'll come over to our performance. We'll take a quick look at our VNAV setup. So those speeds are what we got to keep in mind. Transition altitude on our departure is going to be, let's see if I can find it here, 15,000. There's our cruise, and for our descent, our transition altitude is going to be 13,000. And that is all good up there. Yeah, probably, but I knew I was going to be taking time explaining this, so it's good. We're going to use a vertical path of 3 degrees, which is all good and fine. So we're going to go back to our performance. We're going to go to our takeoff. And before we do that, I want to go into I got to remember where this is entered in. There's a section for weight and balance. Where does that go? There's a Fuel management. No. This is the problem when I haven't done this that often. Trying to remember. Where you enter a lot of this stuff in. So flight plan. Legs are all in. We'll check that. I know there's a discontinuity, so that's fine. Departure and arrival. Performance. I have 410 for my flight today. Where do you enter the number of passengers? Oh, hang on. Performance initialization. There it is, cargo passengers. So we have 3 passengers today. We have cargo. Let me just pull up my flight plan. I'll make sure our weights are correct. So we have 300 kilograms of cargo. And fuel, we should have how is that working out? Oops, the fuel on here. Oh, it says kilograms. So 4977. No, that's 0 fuel weight. 1528 for fuel. Let's see, 1. Clear. 1528. 1528. Wait, let me put it in there. No, you won't. Okay, so it's running sensed fuel. Yeah, Christian, it is. It took me a while to get back into it. I'm still working my way back into it. Should be enough fuel. Our alternate is actually all the way back here, so we should be okay. So I don't have to worry about the fuel. That's all entered in. So cargo set. Takeoff weight, we are within 2 kilograms, so we're good there. Takeoff information. So our winds here are currently (040) at 6. Oh, right. 040 at 6, which gives us a headwind of 5 and a side component of 0. Outside air temperature is currently 4 degrees. And the runway length is fine. QNH of 1031. That is now set. So we're good there. If we come over here, we can look. We're going to be A and I is off. Takeoff flaps will be 15. Our takeoff weight is good. Our gross weight is all below the maximums, and we are good there. We've got more than enough room to take off at a V speed of 99 V1, rotation of 101, V2 of 114, and a VT of 140. We'll send that to the system, so that's being sent in, and that is now done. So ATC clearance, we'll take it as self-cleared. We're going to come over, we'll leave it at that on 7,000 for our squawk. We'll set the radios up for Unicom. There we go. And TCAS is on standby. I think we're pretty much ready to go. So, I think we have everybody on board the aircraft now.
May I have your attention, please? At this time, please comply with the illuminated seat belt and no smoking signs. Thank you.
All right, so beacon's going on, nav lights are going on, and buddy, we're gonna start number one engine first. All right. So we'll lift the cover. Does that go up? There we go. And starting the left engine. Watching the rise on the N2. There we go, coming up for 20. Engine on, close the cover. And one spinning up. No hobbits. We've been chartered to do some executive flying around the Australasia area. I don't know who they are. Probably oil involved. And gold and all that fun stuff. That's a big airplane. Is that you, Scott? Looks like it's making you a default 737. Alright, that's engine 1 up. We'll open the cover, starting engine 2. It's annoying if that is you and it's doing that. I'm not defaulting you into some sort of business jet. Alright, engine 2's up. I hope we'll get much quicker on this as we go through and do some more destinations. Just waiting for the starter to come off. There we go. So avionics can go on now. And there we are. Nice caribou livery. Everything's up and running. So we're going to set up. So these are our links. So whatever I set on this one will show on this one, and whatever I set on this one will show on this one. And I think the way I like to have this set up is like that, and terrain on this one, and then over on this one I put it in where's format? Memory 3? No, memory 2. put it in that mode with the weather radar on. And we'll set the range. There's the range hooked to all of them. Yeah, the range is hooked to all of them. So we'll go 10 miles at the moment. And there we go. We'll put traffic on this one. Alright, so we can come back in. We'll go into our index, second page, mod setup, disconnect the ground power. So that is now off. And we do got to check those legs, because I noticed there was some disconnects. So there's the first one. So we're going to go there. That's when we go into the arrival. And we'll execute that. Then I'm going to come down to here. We'll take that, put that there. And that gives us our continual routing. So that is all set up. Alright, so ATC clearance, we will take it as given. Avionics switch is now on. ICAS is checked. Climate control selector. Put the air on. Belt and safety buttons are on. Flight controls. Do our checks. While we sit here, there we go. Everything is looking good. And ground spoilers. There we are. Ground spoilers are manual. Flaps will go to 15 for takeoff. Engine anti-ice is not required. We'll set the barrel to 3045. Pressure is getting higher than it was reading on the METAR. Nav lights are on, beacon lights on, taxi light can come on now. Where's taxi? Here's taxi. And we're not going to use a pushback, we're good. Alright, we are good to get out of here. So the parking brake is off. And we're going to taxi down to the far end now. So basically we're going to be flying up the eastern side of the South Island, crossing the Straits over to the North Island, and flying up the western side of the North Island to Auckland. I don't know how you would edit model matching in this thing. It's not something I've ever done, Kevin. I would have figured it would have made him a CJ4 being a business jet. So it's a little awkward that it made him a 737. Alright, so we're going to head down. And while we're doing that, let's get... go ahead, Roger. Give him the brief.
May I have your attention, please? Welcome aboard the Citation CJ4 aircraft. Your flight crew will make every effort to make your trip pleasant. At this time, please refer to the passenger briefing card located near your seat for important safety-related information. Smoking is prohibited aboard this aircraft, while the no smoking lights are illuminated and prohibited in the lavatory at all times. Aviation regulations require passenger compliance with lighted no smoking and signs, placards, as well as flight crew instructions. For taxi, takeoff, and landing, please ensure that your lap belt and shoulder harness are fastened and All portable electronic devices are turned off. Tables, luggage, and loose articles must be stowed and secured.
Christchurch area traffic.
Seats must be in the upper
Caribou
right
5556
position
taxiing
in your footrest,
Alpha
extended
to
through
runway
sections
02,
located near your seat.
Christchurch.
To fasten your lap belt, place the flat metal end into the buckle. Pull on the lap belt strap to tighten the lap belt. To fasten the shoulder harness, pull the shoulder harness strap across and in front of you and hook the metal end onto the stud located on your lap belt. To release your lap belt, depress the latch release on the top portion of the buckle. To release the shoulder harness, unhook the metal end from the stud. Because of the possibility of unexpected turbulence, please keep your lap belt securely fastened about you at all times while in your seat. In the event of cabin depressurization, oxygen masks will automatically drop from overhead compartment.
Yeah, you'd think either the CJ4 or the Logitech.
Christchurch traffic, this is Caribou 9034, lined up and ready for takeoff on runway 02.
Elastic straps and breathe normally. Don your mask prior to assisting others with their masks. An emergency exit is located at the right side of the aft cabin. To open the emergency exit, remove the plastic panel covering the release handle. Turn the handle in the clockwise direction. Pull the top of the emergency exit inward, lifting the base out of the opening and into the cabin.
So that Roger's giving the full briefing today.
Exit the cabin by stepping through the
It is the first flight of the passengers on this trip, so it's good they hear it.
The door which you use to enter the aircraft may also be used as an emergency exit. To open the main entry door, first push in on the inner paddle located above the inner handle. Second, pull down on the inner handle approximately 90 degrees. Push the door open and lower the stairs to exit the aircraft. Life vest locations are placarded near your seat. To don the life vest, tear open the storage bag and remove the vest. Place the life vest over your head. Wrap the strap around your waist, buckle, and tighten the strap. For children, wrap the belt around a leg, buckle, and tighten the strap. Inflate the life vest after exiting the plane by pulling downward on both red tabs. If the life vest fails to inflate, blow into the
It's nice with the sun coming up.
tubes attached to the vest. For information on the location,
I'm going down to A7. Scott's away. Oh, sounds like Roger's done. So we're set up here. I've got my routing information, my FMS routing information. I've got my route map here. This will have my weather radar and my terrain or traffic indicating on it. You can see Scott climbing out there. Over on this side, I've got my FMS direction and heading information and my terrain radar on that side. So that's the way I've got it set up. All right. Let's get ourselves ready to go. So parking brake is on. We'll switch over to landing lights. We'll put the strobe lights on. Trims are set for takeoff. Yeah, we're all set. We are tuned to the right frequency. We'll go into TARA. Pedostatic heats 1 and 2 are now coming on. Ice protection is not required. We are going to clear ourselves to an initial altitude of 10,000 feet. And we have ATC clearance. We're not going to use the pulse lights. That's fine. And everything else is set up. Christchurch area traffic. Caribou 5556 taking position runway 02. once we get out, I'll show you where the toga, the hidden toga button is. So the hidden toga button, when you go into toga mode, it will automatically set up the aircraft for a nice climb out via the flight directors. Which we're going to turn on in a second. Manual throttles again, so we got to watch and bear this in mind. All right. So we'll come to a halt. So we're going to come over here. Flight directors are on both sides. You can see the flight director. This button here under the left engine fire button. You click on it. There you go, and you can see we're in TOTO mode. Flight director is going up to a 10-degree pitch. So we're going to bring the power up and release the brakes at rotation speed, which was 101 knots. We're going to pitch to 10 degrees on the flight director. We are then going to go to flight level change and set the speed to our VT speed of 140, which it might do automatically. And then we're going to go in and set up the rest after that. We're going to turn on the yaw damper. And retract the flaps, and then we got to make sure at 1,000 feet we go back into climb speed so we don't over accelerate and get going too fast. All right, so engines coming up. See, we're in takeoff mode on the engines as well. And brakes released, and full takeoff power set. We are a rocket ship. V1 rotate. Up we go, gear up. Power back to climb mode. A little bit easier to handle. So we can go autopilot on. We'll go nav mode. We're gonna go flight control, it's locked at 177. We'll crank that up to 240 for the climb out. There we go. She's going to keep climbing up to 240. And we're en route. So we're turning off to the first point here. So we're through flap speed. Flaps coming up. And she's going to pitch for 140 knots. Flaps are a little bit slow to move on this thing. And she's speed restricted for 260, which is why the barrier's there. It's reminding us under 10,000 feet, you've got that restriction. So what we can do is, as we continue our climb out, we'll just monitor. We'll range out slightly now. We'll go to about 50 miles. There's the terrain falling away. The mountains off to the side there. Climbing up nicely along the route. And we're 1 hour 35 minutes to our destination. There's 7,000 feet. We're going to leave the speed at 240 for the climb out. So we're going to clear ourselves up to 25,000 now. So there's Gutboo coming up. We're now turning towards Glen, which is the exit of the Star. Beautiful climb out along the coast. Not a lot of waypoints in this route today. Yeah, your button's on the throttle. I don't know if it actually does it or not down there, but it works well as, you know, for that. I'm going to just turn these lights up a little bit, just so it makes it easier to see everything. 13,000 feet, we're cleared above transition, so we can go over to standard pressure now. And you can see we're showing we're in LNAV mode on autopilot under flight level change up to 240. There's Scott, he's already up to Glen. The sun coming up. "20,000 feet, we'll take the seatbelt signs off. It varies airport to airport. On the departure, it was 13,000 feet. For here, I think it's 15,000 feet up at Auckland. So basically the only thing that's going to change on our climb out now is our angle of attack as we climb out. Yeah, lucky for me it does it within the FMS. So we're through transition. We're going to keep our 240 knot climb speed, or Mach 0.64. So we'll switch over to it'll switch to Mach mode when we get higher, but that's the highest we want for the Mach. A little bit of course correction to keep us online. So once we're into cruise, we maintain 0.77 for our cruise mode. So it's 21,000 coming up. And we're going to set our climb right up to flight level 410. There's the South Island Mountains. And then looking out the other way, we've got the Pacific Ocean there. Very nice. And beautiful seating in the back of the aircraft today. Complete IFR view. high enough to turn on a little bit of music in the back of the aircraft. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Be nice if they come out with a good business jet for this plane. Although the working title guys have done a great job at making this thing very flyable. So Davey here is actually the entry point into our descent, so it's not going to take too long to get up to altitude, and then we're not going to be up there for very long.
Pods delivers portable storage containers right to your driveway. Between moves, you can store with Pods, and if plans change, your dates can too. Get a quote today at pods.ca or by calling 888-939-PODS.
And she does wander slightly around.
With over 5 million moves.
Should be a nice arrival into Auckland. It's 4 aircraft inbound, a couple that are departing. So we're at 99.4% power. Oh, that's cool. That's a pretty neat little feature there, Scott. I just looked at the photos. Very nice. Your passengers are going to be very comfortable. Well, you can change it. It is, you can go to that mode, that mode, that mode. I've got traffic on, so it's showing a couple different things. And this way I've got the needle and everything on this mode. Notch out one more. It's 100 miles. Guess I can put the map up. It's 34,000 feet. You can see our indicated airspeed's dropping, but our Mach speed is sticking around that 0.64, which is what she's going to stay with for the climb. And on our descent, we'll be going in VNAV and following the path down. And then maintaining our descent speeds. So if we come down to our not performance, our VNAV setup, and go to our descent. 290 is the speed we're going to want to target, or 0.74 on the way down. But she's a small airplane, and she does get tossed around a little bit. Got 4,000 feet to go. And you got to watch your power settings. There are different modes: takeoff, climb, cruise, and they affect how the engines work. So you can't just leave it in full power on takeoff, because you actually get poor performance as you climb up. You got to be in climb mode. So when we get up to cruise and start to level off, we'll be adjusting those back. And then we got to manually maintain our cruise speed. Let's see, we get a. Oh, that's the wrong side. I don't know why the sun's always on the other side. There's those Southern Island mountains below us there. This livery is courtesy of Kevin. It's 1,500 feet to go. Still climbing at 1,300 feet per minute. %, on power. 1,000 to go. Let me turn the signs off for the guys in the back. There we are. Just 300 to go. Altitude capture. There we go, leveling off. Now I'm going to bring the engines back into cruise mode. There we go. You can see the power pump up again now that we're in cruise, but they're running a different fuel mixture and all that stuff. So we're going to watch for the speed to build up to 0.77, and then we're going to try to hold that. 0.7. Keeping the engines about 101%. .75. I don't know why she keeps rolling left to right. Here's 0.77, so we'll start to bring the power back.
Now you can get anything delivered with Uber Eats, but that doesn't mean you can eat.
And what we're watching for
Can I do some toilet paper?
No.
Oh, okay, how about the nail
is
polish?
you'll see the little pink indicator showing the trending
It's simple. Just
direction
eat
of
food. Don't
speed.
mix the not food. Get everything delivered
So we're
from
just going to do
groceries to alcohol
micro
to so much
adjustments
more.
just to try to
Uber
keep
Eats.
that
Get
sitting right
anything.
around
Don't
where it
oversense
is there.
Not literally anything. Item availability varies by market. Alcohol in select cities only. Must be available in alcohol. See app for details.
I'm going to ask on the Discord why she's
There's a lot of financial noise out
kind of
there.
doing these
How do you stay
gentle
ahead
left
of
and
it?
rights.
Start with Fidelity Investments.
Shouldn't be.
And our global network of experts focused on building your wealth. Our serious research capabilities and a lineup of mutual funds and ETFs that we believe are just plain enviable. Let
Yep.
Fidelity help you make the
We're
most
just going to
of your
monitor
hard-earned
our...
money. Ask for Fidelity today. We can help you get ahead and stay
see, there she
ahead.
goes again. Now I do have the Garmin 3000 thing that they have for this airplane. I wonder if it's because of that. I think for the next flight I'm going to take that out and see if it still does it next week, and then we'll see if that's what's causing it. Anyway, top of descent's now starting to appear. So it's about 40 minutes away from Auckland. Speed's coming back, so we're going to push up to about 96.5 on the engines. ITT's good, N1's good, fuel burn's equal. The fuel on board is equal. Go into our fuel management. Where was that? Performance, fuel management. And there's our flow per hour. So we're now in cruise. So we got almost 500 per side still in there. We're burning 250, so we've got almost 2 hours of fuel per engine. So we're looking good there. Again, for some reason it gave us Christchurch as our alternate, which is kind of bizarre. That's worth 7.62. I won't push it too much further. Just I don't want to get too close to Scott. Yeah, I wasn't doing this back and forth thing before, so I'll disable that for next time. You've got NWWW, so about halfway. For your alternate. Really? That's strange. That's Wellington, right? And I've seen that recently as well, SimBrief giving different information to different people. So you're doing this offline, Nick, just to get familiar with the aircraft? We're up to the edge of the South Island now. So not seeing Scott. Oh, there's Scott, right up there. Just make him out. Make out his lights anyway. So we won't get much closer than this. We'll try not to. So there we are. We're at 0.77, right at our max cruise speed. So we can see our restrictions as we come down. We got an above 5,000 foot at Alpha 507, which is good. Davy actually has a above 8,000, so let's see if we can put that in. So there's an 8,000 for Davy. And we go to our, it's moved our top of descent forward. We go to our next page. Yeah, it's still, and then it's 3,000. 3,000 is the platform, the intercept altitude. So that's what we're going to set for our lowest descent point. But yeah, you can see entering that in. But if I go 8,000A, there we go. And it's moved it back out a little bit further. So we'll put that in just as a reference point for it to work out on the way down. Well, we're out over the water now, as you can see, heading northwards. So top of descent's about 110 miles away. Some lovely views out the back for the passengers. This rocking is killing me. There's the South Island disappearing off in the distance. And just a scattering of clouds down below. So you can go in and grab the weather like we did before. I'm just going to grab it on the other computer. Not a lot of change. 140 at 8 knots. No clouds detected. 13 degrees and 1033 for the QNH. Our speed's creeping slightly. So I'm going to come back just to 96% on the engines. I'm going to go off mic for a second, and I'll be back in a couple minutes. So we'll leave you with a view, and I'll be right back. And I'm back. Yeah, don't want to leave the cockpit too long just because we're having to monitor everything here and the throttles and stuff. Don't want to get too close to Scott. I can still see his lights up ahead. Scott, what's your Mach number? We're just sitting there nice and level, and all of a sudden she decides she's going to do a left turn and a right turn to come back online. Bizarre. So if you're into the big round radial engines, tomorrow we continue our Pan Am cruise. Leaving Guam tomorrow morning. And we'll be heading out to Wake Island. Should be interesting. We're leaving at, let me just check the schedule. It's going to be a night flight. We leave at 1:45 in the morning. So Kevin, it looks like you'll be able to do all your celestial navigation. And Sunday will be the first of our little run of couple of long hauls. Reasonable long hauls. Not going to be 12 or 13 hours, but we're hauling out the 747s, so it should be interesting. So we're 31 miles to Auckland, and we make the turn, and then we head up towards our top of descent. So we're at 0.766. We'll just leave her here. Coming up onto the North Island now. Did a lot of Cessna Caravan flying around this area when I was starting with my virtual airline. It's the only aircraft I can fly. So all these little airports, North Palmerston and New Plymouth and everything, flew into those. Looks like Scott's leaving some condensation now. So he's made the turn up there, I think, at the next waypoint. Either that or the wind's just blowing it that way. Which way's the wind going anyway? Sort of. It's only 11 knots. We're less than 50 miles to top of descent. We'll see it come up. It'll arm the V path for the descent path. Simple little trick here when you want to switch over to the localizer for the ILS. Instead of going into the menus and throwing things around, you just hit the little nav button here with the two arrows, and that'll switch between localizer 1 and FMS 1. We'll show you that when we get there. And the radio should auto-tune as well. That's the other thing. We come down to the tuning. Even though it says manual, it should auto-tune. We'll be looking for 110.3. So we can watch for those kick over. And there's the South Island. Or sorry, the North Island. Wellington is kind of off down that way, under the clouds. It's looking nice. I think that's our waypoint turn. Almost. Well, I think we're getting there anyway. It's giving us the flashing warning. There we go. Man, look at that. quite the peak down there. It's leftovers from Wellington's or New Zealand's volcanic past. Looks like Scott started down. So the way this works, it creates a 3-degree glide path from your next restricted waypoint and then comes back to it. So you could end up doing steps down as you get to it, or it could be a continual descent, but it'll be about a 3-degree. Yeah, I think, Nick, it doesn't matter. I think it'll auto-tune anyway. I just want to test it out. Because I've seen notes come up over here saying auto-tuning. So I think it does it anyway. We'll see. Anyway, let's set 3,000 feet. And we'll get ready for the descent. Because if we don't do this, she ain't going down. There we go.
Go to alpinecredits.ca to get started. Some conditions apply.
And we'll get the notification, we'll get the snowflake, the pattern, the descent indicator for your vertical speed, all that good stuff will kick in. So when we get a little bit closer, we'll go into VNav mode so it can get itself set up. And we'll do the landing at 10,000 feet, landing briefing. Seatbelts will come on at 20,000 feet. VNav mode now, and you can see we're now holding altitude. The indicators have come up, and we're going to switch into path mode. So we're going to be looking at about a 2,200 foot per minute descent, roughly. Top of descent marker has come up, saying we're getting close. It's a reminder, hey, you might want to get ready. And we're going to have to be on the throttles. Again, we're going to want 7.4 for the descent. Again, if we go to our index, or our performance, VNav, and our descent, 0.74 or 290. We're almost there. You should see it all kick in here in a second. There we go. And there she comes. So we're going to start pulling back on the power. And down we go. Auckland area traffic, Caribou 5556, leaving flight level 410 for 3,000 on the Dave 6 Delta arrival into Auckland. Alright, so we're on the path, and we're going to bring the speed back. You see us creeping. And just keep working that back. We want to get her down to 7.4. I want that trend downwards. Almost go down to idle here. We're that steep on the descent. In fact, I'm right in idle now. Going down at 2,600 feet per minute.
Auckland traffic, this is Caribou 9034 at 21,000 feet to 3,000 feet. Inbound for the basic, the approach, and runway 05.
You can see we're 8,000 feet, that first restriction we entered in. So there we go, we're 7.3, so we can come up on the power a little bit. We want 7.4. We're going to try to ride that down, and we don't want to go above 290 when we get down to that point either. But we're on path, 2,000 feet per minute, or 2,300 feet per minute. We're locked in now. 7.2 is fine. We want to give Scott a little bit of room, because he's got to do his maneuvering and get out as well. So that's fine. 7.2, we can work with that. I think that's Scott down there below us. You can see his condensation there. Keep that 7.2. So it's basing our 3 degree glide on that 8,000 foot limit that we've got coming up at Davie. I think it's spelled with an N at the end and not an M. Although it's a little worrying that you need some fortification before you land. Coming up to 30,000 feet. Everything's looking good. I'm letting her slow down a little bit more. I'm going to end up ahead of Scott here. Speed is creeping upwards. I'm sure I put bourbon in there. There we go. Very dramatic music for this approach. Yeah, looks like I'm going to be beating you there, Scott. So if that's the case, I better make sure I give enough room. So we'll get our speed up to 0.74. There we go. There's 290, so we're going to ease back. Alright, now I start playing with the range. down to the clouds. Still doing the silly rocking thing. Alright, you can see where we are. We're going to be basically working our way up the coast here, coming in and then landing to the east. We get rid of our map. Alright. Keep that speed down to 290. 25,000 as we've gone through. Again, manually working the throttles here. I never did go into half bank up in the cruise because we weren't doing many, turns en route. But that's something you want to do above 30,000 feet. Let's put it into half bank, just so she's not over banking in the air. Everything's looking nice. Our 3 passengers have had some drinks and availed themselves of some of the finer snack food on board. Very nice assortment of cheese and crackers. Keeping that speed up. Air's getting thicker down here. Thing to remember, this airplane has manual spoilers, so as soon as you touch down, you gotta engage the manual spoilers fully back to go into ground spoiler mode. Yeah, you can see there's the coastline we're following as we head north. So there's 20,000 feet. Let's get the seatbelts on for the people in the back.
May I have your attention, please? At this time, please comply with the illuminated seatbelt and no smoking signs. Thank you.
Alright, so as we come in, performance, approach, winds. I'm going to do this quickly. 140 at 7. Air temperature is 13 degrees. There's only 3 things you have to enter in here, and 1033 for the QNH. There we go. Let's check our speeds. Everything's good. Let's go back to our performance approach. We go to the next page. 104 is our over the fence, and our approach speed of 111, and our weights are all within minimum, so we'll send that over. It's complete, so it's now on the tapes, and everything is set for our approach information as being entered. Alright, so there's 16,000 feet coming up. Kill the radio in the back. So at 270. It's a good speed. Davey, we want to be above 8,000. We are going to be above 8,000. And we have a 280 limit, so we're below that, which is good. Cleared below, so we'll go over, and it's 10 or I don't know why that's in inches. Anyway, we'll set that up. There we go. We're now set. It's changed our path a little bit, but let's get that speed down. Gotta be below 280. We gotta be below 240 at the next one, so we're gonna pull back a little bit more. Let's get the range in. And at Alpha 507, we have to be above 5,000 and 240 knots. So the aircraft is working on the 5,000. We're gonna work on the 240 knots. So we'll bring the engines right back, let the speed bleed. Slightly above path. Oh, it's coming in nicely. We got a message. Localizer will be tuned. Alright, so that's what I mean, Nick. See, it seems to want to do it anyway, which is fine. We'll see if it does it. 11103, I know what it's got to be at, so we'll check it as we come in. Well, when we switch over anyway. It's 240. And our landing, we're going up to the far eastern end. There is a corporate and domestic freight ramp by the DHL apron at the far end. C1 is the taxiway, so that's where we are headed for parking. So far end of the airport. There's the localizer, 110.3. It's tuned in, and you can see it showing on the display now, ghosted in. So that is nicely done. Thank you, machine, for that. All right, we are 11,500 and descending. We are 225 knots. We're below the restriction. Everything is good. Next restriction is at Steel. We have to be below 220. That's roughly where we're sitting now, so we're fine. There's the bay. The airport is sitting somewhere over here. So we're actually going to turn out slightly and then come back in to land. But that's where we're headed. There's 10,000 feet coming up. Oh, never turned the landing lights off, but the landing lights are on. And Roger, you want to tell them to get ready for landing, please?
May I have your attention, please? We will be landing shortly. Please turn off all portable electronic devices, stow tables, secure luggage, and loose articles. Return your seat to the upright and outboard position. Extend your headrest and fasten your lap belt and shoulder harness. After landing, please remain in your seat with your lap belt and shoulder harness securely fastened until the aircraft is come to a complete stop in the parking lot. Thank you.
So if we were tuning a VOR to follow, we could use the course button. I think she'll automatically put the heading in. It looks like it has. It seems to be pointing off in the correct direction, if I remember right. So that is good. There's 9,000 feet. I'm going to try to bring us down to 210 by Steel. So throttles to idle. Let's see if we can bleed off some of that speed. So 3,000 at Adama, but that's also our platform, so we should level at 3,000, which is good. It'll help us slow down as well. Below 20 knot, 200 knots, we can go flaps 15. That's coming up on the speed tape now. And we can see the localizer information's appearing for the ILS. We got localizer and glide slope now appearing. So there's an aircraft at Auckland. Just quickly, no ATC, but there's 4 aircraft inbound. There's 3 aircraft scheduled to depart. Currently showing just 2 of us inbound at the moment, and I definitely am ahead of Scott, which is fine. I should be off in time for him. It's 200 knots coming up. And last range increase, we'll go down to 5 miles. So we have no precipitation, as the weather radar has been clear the entire way. Ground radar should kick in shortly, but not below 5,000 feet. So we have to be above Atama at 3,000, which we will be. We have to be at above Lengu. So basically it's working us down to where we should be able to pick up the glide slope actually at Lengu, because I believe that's the actual, well, it's almost the capture point, but I'm going to make that a strict 3,000 foot. So we are level there. And we got 3,000 to go on the descent. Speed's under 200. I'll leave the flaps up and I'll try to keep it around this speed at the moment. Basically keep her just above idle. Alright, there's the flip. Then you get to Lengu, we got to get down 3,000 feet in 6.5 miles. Shouldn't be too bad. Here we're looking at a final approach speed of 111 knots, and then over the threshold at 103. That's at 50 feet. 103 set us down, and once we're down, we manually ground spoilers, because there are no reversers on this aircraft. So CI05 right is where we should intercept the glide slope. See what happens. It's going to be a hard right turn, and then we'll go over to localizer and approach, because we are still above the glide slope at the moment. And first notch of flaps going in. It's 1,000 to go. 3 miles to Lengu.
Altitude.
This glide slope's coming up. We're only going to have about 2 miles after we make the turn to intercept. That's okay, we'll be below. Oh, there's that turn. That's fine, we'll watch. Speed's back, we're going to start decreasing our descent in a second. Localizers cross through. Wait until we start to level off of the turn. There's us leveling out, speed's coming back. Try not to slow too much. And there we go, going for the intercept, rolling level, approach mode active, localizer mode active, going in for the lock. Alright, let's bring that speed back now.
Landing gear.
Landing flaps are down, airport
Landing
is
gear.
in sight, speed coming down,
Landing
gear
gear.
down. Want to keep that speed at about 140 as we get stabilized. It's 130. I'm going to be playing with the power. Auckland area traffic, Caribou 5556 established on the ILS runway 05 right, Auckland. So glide slopes captured, localizers captured. We're a little fast. You can see our approach speed and our reference speed, but that's fine. We're still lining up. We have the airport in sight. And when we get off, we're going to taxi Alpha all the way down to Bravo 1 and take Charlie 1 to the ramp. Keep the speed up for a good part of the approach. 7 miles out. We've got a little bit of time. It's 2,000 feet. Some light clouds, not too bad. And the winds are slightly off our right nose at 15 knots at the moment. I should swing slightly further to the right and decrease. Okay, we're over the water. True altitude readings now. It's 1,500 feet coming up. Flaps full. Gear down, 3 green. Confirmed. Bring that speed back. Get her down to our approach speed now. It's 3.5 miles. 1,100 feet. Gears down. I'm trying to get a nice outside view. There we go. It's looking nice. We're below approach speed. Can't take your eyes off it. Angle of attack indicator is up. We're slightly low on the angle of attack. No, that's because I just added a little bit of power. That's fine. Auckland area traffic, Caribou 5556 established local or ILS runway 05 right, 2 miles out. So there's an aircraft over there at the terminal. Alright, 2 reds, 2 whites. 500 feet.
500. Autopilot.
I have the aircraft. You got to remember it is throttles to idle and then manual braking and manual ground spoilers because there are no auto reverse or auto spoilers. Engine reverse or auto spoilers. Yeah, there's an aircraft there. I can see the lights. Alright, bring that speed back. We've gotten very fast. There we go. Coming down. Leveling off. There's approach speed. Engines to idle. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it. And we're down. Ground spoiler's out. She's gonna get squirrely. She always does. Now we're gonna take the next exit. Put a lot of left rudder in when you land. All right. Retract the spoilers. Auckland area traffic, Caribou 5556 clear, runway 05 right, taxiing to the corporate ramp via Alpha 5, Alpha, Bravo 1, Charlie 1 at Auckland. Alright, flaps coming up. Very quickly we'll come down here, put the taxi light on, strobe lights off. Gas is off. All right. Looks like Scott's lined up out there. I don't see him yet, but I can see him on VATSim. See him in a minute. We're heading right down to the end here. This is Bravo 2 coming up. This is actually the Air New Zealand hard stand area where they do a lot of, I guess, work on their aircraft over there. That's the DHL apron. Going to be in front of that big hangar there. This is where we're headed, up over to the corporate side here.
Auckland area traffic, this is Caribou 9034. We're established on the glide slope with runway 05R.
And welcome to the corporate ramp. Gonna wheel up over here. We'll make sure Scott's got room to get that big beast in here. There we go. ourselves nicely parked up. And then we can shut her down. Alright, parking brake is set. So, emergency lights will come off. Standby flight display instrument will go off. Believe it or not, you turn the avionics switch off. Climate control selector will go off. Throttles are back to idle. And we will open up the covers and turn off engine number 1, which is the left engine, and engine 2. Close the covers. The rest of the lights will get shut off. We'll open up the door and kill the battery. There we go. And then, oh! Now look what he's in. Interesting. They put you in a CJ4 now. It is strange you didn't show up like that the first time, because I was going to suggest maybe next time you put your aircraft type in as a CJ4 for VATSim, but it put you into one in a generic livery, so question for Nick. If Scott uses that call sign, Caribou 3034, can I edit the list of aircraft for that call sign and that's Nick? It can't be Nick. Nick was, I thought Nick was offline. Not on VATSim. Really? Huh. That's you, okay. Well, yeah, it fooled me there. So Scott, maybe that's what I'll do. I'll go in and I'll put in your code, the CWS 9034. I'll write it into the VMR file and have you come up as a Caribou CJ4. And that way at least I'll see you in the right thing, if that's the call sign you're going to use all the time. So, but Nick, it's good to see you. How'd you enjoy the airplane, Nick? It's not bad. I enjoyed it. I am gonna take out the that Garmin 3000 mod that they had for it and see if that was making it do that wing rocking, because when I was doing my tests before it wasn't doing that. So you're running CWS 464, and we can make that one a Caribou as well. And then myself, 5556. Ooh, you can hear the water now. Blowing on the beach. Anyway, that's going to do it for today. Hope you all enjoyed the aircraft. Hope you all enjoyed this series. It's going to be a good one. And we will be back next week. That's my intention anyway. For Flying Leg 2 when we head out of New Zealand off to some of the islands in the South Pacific here. So thank you very much for joining us and coming along. Hope you enjoyed. If you want to take part in these flights, all my live streams are either multiplayer or VATSim flights. You can find out more information on our Discord, and I'm throwing it up on the chat right now. If you're interested, there's also a link in the description, so feel free to grab it there, and you can come along and join in. So we'll see you then, and tomorrow, hey J-Hog, good to see you there. We'll see you tomorrow on the Pan Am World Tour. Take care, everybody. Bye for now.